we're delivering properties that are putting out competitive returns, and so we're continuing to attract a lot of investors. Mm-hmm. We have been challenged the last 24 months. So our returns have dropped because we're dealing with higher interest rates, higher construction costs, and the higher costs to take care of these buildings. We think that we're entering into a time period where inflation is starting to settle down.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness is right.
Hello, my name's Paul Seitz. I'm with R&R Insurance in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Thank you for being with us today. This is Land Development Focus. It's a podcast, and we are exploring the entire process of land development in Wisconsin, the approval process, the numerous government entities involved. To accomplish this, we are meeting with Wisconsin-based land developers to explore all the challenges that they face in this fascinating business called land development. With me today is Stewart Wangard of the Wangard Companies. Stewart, thank you for joining us today.
Paul, I'm glad to be with you.
Stewart, your companies, collectively known as Wangard, you founded this in 1992. Whatever motivated you to become involved in land development?
I started in real estate in 1977, and I enjoyed the creative process. It was fun working with clients. I actually developed a strong relationship with many of the municipalities. And so the land development is it's a basic part of starting the overall development process to get a building built, and we're building communities. We're building communities for communities.
You know, in today's development world, sustainability is I guess, a hot topic. In your opinion, what are the elements of sustainability, let's say well, today we're sitting in one of your buildings on Highway 100 in Watertown Plank, actually a LEED certified building. And when it comes to sustainability, what makes this building different?
Well, this is a LEED Gold building, and this was the first LEED Gold multi-tenant building in the state of Wisconsin. And what it was designed for is designed to go and use less energy, still maintain a very comfortable environment. And since we built it, we've worked on things like we use less water in this building now. We've worked on continuing to maintain less energy usage. So what do? We create a lower carbon footprint for the area. Now, Paul, it's not just that, but basically it's economy. So if it costs less to run this, that's also good for our investors.
Logical.
While we're running something in a first-class manner.
How long ago did you build this building?
This building was built in 1999,
I see.
completed in 2000, and we built many LEED certified buildings since then, and other buildings that actually get approved as environmentally sensitive buildings with different certification standards. There is a project that we did in Economowoc that we're especially proud of. It's called Prairie Creek. And Prairie Creek was a combination of multifamily, a Piggly Wiggly anchored shopping center.
I've been there.
And there's been numerous new residential developments around there. Well, directly behind our development is Rosenau Creek. And Rosenau Creek is one of the two naturally reproducing trout streams, cold water streams, in Waukesha County. And so we were very concerned about protecting it. And we worked with our engineers to actually reverse the water flow away from the creek, and then it goes back underground through gravel and flows back to the creek as cold, clean water.
That's amazing.
Yes. And then
I'm going to try to go trout fishing there now. When I stop at Piggly Wiggly.
They may be smaller trout, though.
Thank you for sharing that. Some of the developers that I've talked to, Stewart, they have suggested that one way to make the entire approval process more streamlined is to share engineering, meaning the municipality has an engineer, the developer has an engineer. Sometimes they're the same firm operating with their respective clients. But do you see some synergy that might be achieved in the process and reducing costs to, one engineer on site to address the concerns of everyone?
There could be. The concern that a municipality would have, and actually the way our company does things too, is that you really want to have an engineering firm that's double checking all the quality steps that are going on. And you're probably saying, why is that a concern of our company? We have many things to take care of when we're doing these projects. And we're out on our job sites all the time. We can't catch everything. So a good engineer, good engineering firm, will be reviewing the quality standards that are going on there. And so to have a firm share design resources with the city, yeah, that makes sense. You still need another firm to check what's going on the job and how things are being built.
I see. You also have a property management division. You handle about 1,500 habitational units. What do you see as the greatest challenge for all these property management companies in the residential habitational world today?
We're especially proud of our property management company. They do an outstanding job. They're one of the highest ranked companies. We are one of the highest ranked companies in the state of Wisconsin. And so that comes through in the form of reviews and reputation score. Mm-hmm. Both our property managers and the maintenance technicians who are actually working on the job site. More people today are choosing to rent than building a single-family home. Part of that has to do with the high cost of a single-family home. And they expect a lot. And so as a company, we really are out there to meet their needs. And so we're a service company, and how do we make them happy? That's important. Make their life easy, and being quick to respond when an issue does come up.
Mm-hmm. You just alluded to the affordability of housing. Mm-hmm. We've just discussed the rental option, if you will. And affordable housing is a term that is constantly used in the media, elected officials. And you prefer to look at more as a workforce housing perspective. Can you share that idea with us? Workforce housing. What does that mean?
Paul, we develop everything from workforce housing to super luxury housing. And workforce housing means that we're meeting the needs of the average person within the workforce. You'll see a lot of healthcare workers in our buildings. Mm-hmm. You'll see policemen, firemen, 2 state patrolmen in one of our buildings. So
in your rental units?
In our rental units, mm-hmm. Yes. And we're running into challenges that directly impact those who rent from us also. We've come off a period of time where we've had massive inflation, and it's hit the cost of building. So it's at points, the cost of the building it was going up as high as 20% a year. Significant.
Very.
In addition to that, we're dealing with paying higher wages, more benefits, higher insurance costs. And that's what we're dealing with every day. We're trying to go and provide something that provides an excellent value to our residents, and yet we have to deal with these rising costs. So there's a balance there.
I've sat down with some other land developers that primarily develop single-family housing. And, they look at this workforce housing issue, your average American couple, both working, the formula to afford a new single-family home with these escalating costs that you just alluded to, it's essentially pricing your average couple from even contemplating buying a newly constructed home. I understand in our market, a new single-family home, the median price is somewhere north of $400,000 today. And I assume your rental, habitational housing, you're filling a niche that's growing all the time, just given the economics of housing. That must work to the advantage of your investors and your development objectives, I would assume.
It does. Paul, this is not the first time we've been through this. My grandfather was a builder. My father was a builder. So my grandfather was building homes after World War II. My father was building homes in the 50s and the 60s. My father could deliver a home in the early 60s under $10,000. Now, that did not have an attached garage, did not even have a garage, but it provided the basic needs. We're delivering properties that are putting out competitive returns, and so we're continuing to attract a lot of investors. We have been challenged the last 24 months. So our returns have dropped because we're dealing with higher interest rates, higher construction costs, and the higher costs to take care of these buildings. We think that we're entering into a time period where inflation is starting to settle down.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness is right. And hopefully the consumer will, with the combination of wage increases and the fact that rents will settle down, it'll be more comfortable for them.
We are in challenging times from a land developer's perspective, and let alone for that couple, that average American couple trying to figure out their housing.
Yes.
You operate an investment arm, and you have not only individual investors, but institutional investors, I understand. That must have enabled you to develop some projects that otherwise you would not have. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I've always put a lot of my own money into it. Again, I started in the business quite early, so I used my savings and invested in the real estate. We have 6 family offices. We have institutions, pension funds that have backed us, and over 120 friends and family investors, some of who have been with us for over 40 years. So that's part of our success story.
I don't think the metropolitan Milwaukee area has many land developers that attract such third-party investment, and I commend you for that. We've talked to a number of land development companies, and I find more often than not it is purely a private enterprise. And obviously your formula works. And I know that you develop not only habitational, but commercial office, which is, you're quite diversified. Do you have any plans to diversify any further in the future? See anything new on the horizon, Stewart?
We try to stick to what we know best. So 80% of what we do is what we're experts at. And that's what we're going to be in and day out. We have picked up some additional skills and gone into other areas. Last year we developed a new building for the Veterans Administration. We developed several medical office buildings. But 80% of it is building industrial for the businesses, many manufacturing businesses of within the state of Wisconsin, and apartments. We're expanding our geographic area. Primarily we're in Wisconsin. We have developed in Illinois. We have developed in Minnesota. We're currently in Ohio. We expect to go into Iowa, more in Minneapolis, more in Minnesota, and then Michigan is interesting to us.
I thought we were going to get a water park out there where the Olympia Resort used to sit, but I guess I'll have to wait.
I think our neighboring developers may come up with a nice surprise with the old ski hill property and the base of the ski hill. No water park coming from our firm, though.
I understand, well, let's see, the Mandel Company has some activity
Yes.
in the Oconomowoc, the former Olympia site. I believe Newman Development is got some activity there as well. Well, I happen to live in Oconomowoc, so I'm very curious to watch it evolve. I drive by it every day.
It's a fantastic community. We will be bringing a new Panera to the community. Panera has already announced what they're going to be doing, and we have a number of other restaurants that'll soon be out there.
Stewart, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Paul, you're welcome.
Thank you.